Good morning, YouTube. It's your boy Nathan coming you to do another recap video. Today we're going to talk 90 Day Fiancé, Season 9, Episode 17. It's the season finale, right before the tell-all. So we're just going to get right into it. So we got the final 4 couples left to be married. So let's start with, we're going to start with Bilal and Shida. We'll start with them. So this episode, Bilal and Shida, getting ready for the wedding. Shida just reminisces about how the 90 days went between the prank, the arguing, the fussing, the prenup, wondering if they're gonna have kids or not. But Bilal and Shida, I wasn't quite sure for a while with them, but they worked through their differences. And they decided that, they're going to get married. They did sign the prenup. Shida said that she saw that Bilal put what she wanted in the prenup, and they signed it the day before. So the prenup is officially signed. And Bilal and Shida, we've seen them get Shida ready. Her sisters were like, this is your last chance if you still want to go through with this or not. Don't scare nobody the day of the wedding. But no, they had a nice little Islamic wedding ceremony. Shida looked very, very beautiful coming down that aisle. Her dress was just beautiful. The way she looked was just really beautiful and classy. They had their ceremony. Bilal's daughter just sung something in, I don't know if it was in Islamic or Hebrew or Latin or whatever, while she came down the aisle. And I guess in that tradition, you have to say like "I do" 3 times. So their wedding officiant, like he didn't sound like a normal officiant, but they have to say "I do" 3 times, like to be sure. That's how they do it in their religion, which is cool. So, but Bilal and Shida, they did get married, so congratulations to them. At the reception, Bilal gave Shida this some kind of jewelry that was in Latin, and it said like, I will never give up on you, and you'll never give up on me. And he said that was something that his mom and dad had when they were together. So that was very nice for Bilal to do that for Shida. So I hope they can work out their problems. But I am glad that they got married, so congratulations to them. The next couple I want to talk is Emily and Kobe. So, as we all know, Emily's pregnant. And her and Kobe had like a big fight last week, the night before the wedding, about trust and everything. So in this episode, it's wedding day. Emily wakes up, she calls Kobe and apologizes for the night before. Kobe says how he loves you, how he loves her and everything. So cool, they made up. So they go and get ready. So they're getting ready on their own. Kobe has his friends, and he comes out in his little tidy whitey underwear. Not sure why they keep showing that. Like, I don't know why they keep showing that. Yes, we know he was an underwear model, but we don't need to be seeing him in his underwear all the time. But he comes out in his underwear, and everybody's like, get dressed, man, get dressed. So he gets dressed, and then Emily's dad comes in and talks to him. And Emily's dad had told him they had a really nice father-son-in-law moment. It was like Kobe just saying he respects Emily's dad so much and everything. He thanks him for letting him in, like, during this time and everything, and that he loves him. And Kobe's dad says, tells him thank you and everything. He was going to tell Emily's dad right then and there about Emily being pregnant, but he was like, nah, I don't want to betray Emily's trust the day of the wedding. But, as you can see, but Kobe was starting to cry because he just respects Emily's father so much, because they did the one thing that he asked them not to do, and, Kobe just feels obligated. So, but regardless of the fact, they had a nice little moment there, and I thought, and I earned so much more respect for Kobe for doing that. Like, that was amazing, and that was a classy move right there. So Emily and Kobe, they got married. You know, their ceremony was nice and everything, and you know they had a nice little reception. And 5 days later after they get married, um, Emily and Kobe sit the father down and everybody and say that she's pregnant, and it's been 10 weeks. She's been pregnant for 10 weeks. She's 10 weeks out, and yeah, and the family was not happy. You know, like y'all did it when we told y'all not to do it, and everything. Like this is your second. This is about to be your second child. What are y'all going to do? Like, and Emily's parents were just like, you know, they eventually got to move out. You know, we've been taking care of them for so long now. They eventually need to move out. You know, so they weren't really excited. You know, I'm glad they waited after the wedding to do it, but you know, the parents were just not having it. They were just questioning them, like, like really on the verge of kicking them out. So, you know, I mean, I mean, when you first announce that you're pregnant, like it should be yay, but then, you know, they're just like, man, like this is the worst timing because Emily's dad said he wants to retire, you know, and Kobe still don't have his papers to work yet. So like, you know, he has to wait till he gets his papers. So now, like, this was just the worst timing for them. So yeah, I do agree with that, but still, like, just be happy. You know, I think they'll figure something out with that. So yeah, that was Emily and Kobe. Next is going to be Jabrie and Miona. So Jabrie and Miona, they go to Joshua Tree in California to get married. Jabrie's parents doesn't show. Jabrie's grandmother decides to officiate the wedding. They have a guy that's going to bring this arch that Miona really wants at the wedding because it was at a desert. It wasn't a beach wedding, but it was at a desert. Like, it was like something second best minus the water. And they needed this arch because Miona was really, really advocate about this arch that they needed. And one of Jabrie and Miona's friends, I think it's in Igdebo, I think he's Serbian. He was like an hour late to bring the arch, and Miona was getting upset. Getting ready. Miona was upset because the guy was late, but you know, she said she's gonna hold her cool. He comes in, they get the arch set up, cool. So Jabrie and Miona, they get married. Jabrie writes a song for Miona, just country song, like expressing his love for Miona. And you know, they had like a nice little ceremony. It was just the grandma and them, and then like the photographer and their friend Igabo or something like that. So you know, their little ceremony, they looked great. They looked great. Like Miana looked very beautiful. Jabrie looked really cool. They looked great. It was like they had a lot of hurdles to fight through this season. I'm not even going to get into it. I wasn't a fan of Jabrie's arrogance throughout the season, but they did work through their problems and they got married. And I'm going to touch more on Jabrie's arrogance later in this video. But yeah, that was Jabrie and Miana. They got married. They looked very beautiful. Jabrie read a song for her. It was just amazing. And last but not least is Patrick and Thais. This is what we were questioning about. This was what we've been waiting on that kept on leaving us with the cliffhanger. So we left off last week with Patrick and Thais talking to Thais' dad and asking him for the blessing. And Thais' dad is just like, nope, you don't have my blessing to get married. So it starts out with them just, trying to convince them that Patrick was just trying to convince them, like, I love your daughter and I will take good care of her. And, the dad was just like, you don't have my blessing, but, it is her decision. You better not let me down. You have a lot to prove to me, and they basically left it at that, basically. So Thais made the decision. I thought Thais was going to really go back to Brazil at the last second, but she made the decision, I'm going to marry you. I do love you, minus the problems that we have, and everything. So Patrick and Thais. So Thais meets up with her little girlfriends to get ready. Patrick does it like practices little Brazilian dance that they want to do at the reception, and the brother comes in and makes comments or whatever. And Thais' friends she met in Dallas, they were like, my father. One of the friends said that my father didn't approve of the wedding, I would probably postpone it, you know. And I was just like, oh God, don't listen to her right now. Not the day of the wedding, don't postpone it. But the other girl was like, no, I would still marry him because I still love him and stuff, you know. And Thais just like, I can't postpone the wedding because if I go back to Brazil, then that's it, we're done. I don't want to be done, so yeah, so nonetheless, Thais and Patrick actually got married. So after all that back and forth with them two, they finally got married. It was a beautiful ceremony. Thais looked really beautiful. Patrick looked good. Patrick's brother John was there. He was like, this has been amazing watching them throughout this journey and stuff. Now John's been a little hindrance throughout the season, the third wheel, and I'll touch more on that here in a second. But yeah, so Patrick and Thais, they were the wild card. They were the couple are they gonna get married? We still don't know, but they got married, so happy for them. So yeah, guys, that was the rest of the couples. That was the last episode of the season. Finally, it's been a long season. It's been a long season. So the season is finally over. We got the tell-alls for the next 2 weeks. We got the tell-all. I'm excited about the tell-all. I'm going to do a quick preview of what we saw in the previews of the tell-all. And so the tell-alls happening. This is going to be the first time, too, in I think 90 Day history, that everybody's going to be at the tell-all. Nobody's going to be on camera, on the camera screen anymore. So that's cool. I think this is the first tell-all in history, really, that is going to be like that, where you have all 7 couples there in person. Well, they showed a preview of the tell-all. It looks like Jabrie. Is going to be, Jabrie has a smart mouth, and he's going to be getting into it with, he has some words for Ari and Benny. He said he could fight Benny. He was one of the advertisements where it said that he could fight Benny and stuff, and he put $100,000 on it. I hope it just means about Benny's MMA fight, not actually just being petty fight. Then we also see Jabrie get into it with Patrick's brother John, because John's going to be at the tell-all, and I guess they had to be separated, because I guess Jabrie, based on the previews, Jabrie is making all kinds of ignorant comments and being threatful and trying to be intimidating to a few people. Like I said, he's gotten into Ari and Benny. He's gonna be getting into it with Patrick's brother John. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But just judging how the previews look for the tell-all, I'm not. Jabrie just needs to mind his business and just keep his mouth shut, because out of everybody this season, he has no room to talk. And like I said, and that's what I meant with his arrogance. I had a problem with his arrogance all season, and if he just wants to be immature and act all big and tough guy in front of everybody, he don't deserve to be there. So yeah, and we also seen in the trailer, everybody's gonna be going after Bilal with Bilal's lecturing thing, so I wonder how Bilal and Shida are really doing when it comes to that, because it might still be the same thing. So, and then everybody else is just everybody else. But I saw the previews of the tell-alls. It's gonna be intense. I can't wait. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll be back on tomorrow and Wednesday to do Catfish. 90 Day Fiancé. I started these videos watching the beginning 17 weeks ago, and I can't believe we're finally at the finale. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back on soon.